a kid for a 3.5 and above. Okay, I want to see that. And especially kids that are 3.6 to 3.8 at our school, if you're out of state, you get about an extra $5,000 that doesn't count for your athletic. Okay? Yeah, and as much as $10,000 for a 3.8 to a 4.0. So what does that equate to? About 19%. So instead of costing me a 1.0, it costs me 81%. And if I do that enough times, I can get an extra kid in the program. And so it really helps out the kids that have good grades. Okay? If I'm going to pick between two kids with comparable talent, I'm going to pick the kid with better grades. So it's very important that they understand that. Okay, what's expected of you? And typically when we go out and we're looking, we're just going to do the 5 physical tools, okay? Can you hit for average? Can you get on base? How do you hit the ball for average, for a high average? Okay? And we're going to give you a grade for that. Do you hit for power? Okay, what are your power numbers like? How's your speed? Okay, there's one thing about speed, it doesn't tend to go in a slump. Slow, get on base. It doesn't go in a slump. Fielding ability, how good are you with the glove? Okay? And then your arm strength. You know, can you throw 60 plus mile an hour? You know, those are the type of things to do. I mean, give you a grade. Now you may not, if you're a power hitter and you hit 20 home runs, okay, you may be a little less on your fielding, okay? Or if you're a slap hitter, a triple threat, you hit some gaps, but you get on base for an average of 600 on base percentage, then you're valuable, okay? But typically we're going to look at what? What's going to overrate it? Probably hitting, okay? I like to get people who can hit, but I also need to understand, like I said before, I can't paint myself in a corner and have kids with no gloves. I need some people to compete. And so that kind of changes the landscape of who you recruit and who you don't recruit as well. All right. So then we go into the other things, intangibles. What's your work ethic like? Your hustle, your positive attitude. And how do you see that when you watch the games and not just watching your at-bat results? Because you go watch you play, you have 3 at-bats or 5 at-bats in a day, you may not get a hit. But how are you responding to that? That's just important thing. How are you picking your team up? Is it important to you that your team wins? Or is it just important to you that you succeed? Okay? Those are big team building issues, okay? It's hard to have a championship team if your clubhouse sucks. If they don't like each other, okay? If they don't have respect for each other, because we understand that if you've got a group of 18 to 20 women out there, you're not going to like everybody, but you better respect it. Okay? You need to have respect. And that's a big thing. So we need to see how well they fit together. Do they have that positive attitude? Desire to learn. Are they looking their coach in the eye? Are they looking for those moments to learn something new and learn from adversity? Okay? Perseverance, never giving up. What's the score? How hard am I still playing? Are we down by 11 runs, but I'm still hustling everything out? Or do I pop it up and just jog down to first base? That stuff matters. Okay, it matters a lot. How are you carrying yourself? How many of you have been out to the field and automatically you see the best player? They may not have fielded the ball yet. They may not have fielded the ball. They may not have even had a hit. But you tell the way they carry themselves, right? That they're a pretty good player. The key is, for you players, is to bluff that. Okay? It's to make people believe you know what you're doing. Okay? I used to say that in sales a lot too. I used to, you're always trying to make people believe you know what you're talking about. So, desire to win, okay, and this is a big thing, and this is really hard now with just the way these exposure games happen, right? It's so hard to get that mentality of winning. Okay, that's what it's about. It's about winning, okay? For example, you go out and watch the exposure games, they're an hour and 20 minutes, okay, and they chop off the most important part of the game, which is what? The 5th, 6th, and 7th innings. Why is that? Because the hitters are starting to make their adjustments to what the pitchers are doing. And the pitchers are having to make the adjustments to what the hitters are doing. And that's the big part. That's the hardest part of the game, is that 3rd time through the order. Okay, because the good hitters start to make the good adjustments. And you want to see how those pitches are working. We don't hardly see that anymore, those exposure tournaments, right? It's a shame. We don't get to get a good feel for what the players can really do. Do they stay calm and in control? And this is a big one. And sometimes it's a learning experience. I know when I was younger, I was a bit of a hothead. I was always looking to point the finger, and over time, I found it didn't do me any good. There's a learning experience in that. But typically, you don't want kids to come in and throw helmets. So here's a great example, right? We were playing BYU last year in a regional, and their hitter, Willard, I think had like 81 RBIs, had one of the highest averages, like 450 average, had like 20 home runs, and they had loaded bases and they were playing Mississippi State. And there was nobody out, or two out, and she pops up. Okay, she comes in. Next time I'm looking at her, I see the bat flying, I see the helmet flying, I see her go in the dugout, punch the wall. Okay, and cut a long story short, she breaks her hand, she's a senior, she's out for the rest of the tournament, right? She's done. That's her career, she's done. So the moral of the story is we played BYU twice. I can't tell you how many times that number 4 hitter came up in big situations where she would get hit. Okay, so she destroyed her team with her inability to control her emotions. Okay, and that's what we need to stay away from. All right, so how do I get noticed? Okay, the big thing is you need to assess your level of ability. You need to be honest. If you don't know, you need to have some standards, right? Can I throw 60 mile an hour plus? What's my foot speed like? Can I get around the bases in 11 seconds or under, 12 seconds and under? What's my time down to first? What's my ability to drive the ball with power? Those types of things, and put yourself on a scale. Got it? And here's the thing, right? We're recruiting so far out there that you may get better. We know that. Some kids are quicker out of the blocks. But we have an honest assessment of yourself and your abilities and where you need to go. Pick about some D1 schools. Pick some mid D1 schools, lower D1, then D2, D3, and JUCO. You know, open your options. Pick about 5 out of each one. Send letters to them. The best thing you can do right now is send YouTube links, okay? Because it doesn't take me any time to open that up, and I'll click on it. Okay, like to see hitting first, because if you can hit, find a spot for you to play. Put that at the front. They see a few swings, see what you got. Okay, and that's a great way to get noticed. As you get better, replace the link. Okay, and you know, as you go along. So that's a great way to get seen. You need to start visiting your top schools. Most of your top D1 schools have their commitments done by the sophomore year. Most schools in my position right now are done with 2015. No athletic money left. You may be able to walk on, but they're done. Now I still have 3 spots open. They're not fulls, but I'm looking to fill those by the end of this month when we have our league camp. And so I'm looking, I've got kids coming in. We've kind of got cornered for who we want to go get. Okay, we have no idea who it is. So you want to attend a few of these. Of course, you can't afford to go all over the country either. And before you go to a camp, call the coach and ask them, are you recruiting my year? Okay, are you recruiting my year? What are you looking for in players? Okay, what positions? I'm a shortstop. How deep are you in shortstops? And he may say, well, you're willing to play anywhere. And your answer would be, yes, right. Okay, I'm willing to play anywhere.
5 minutes.
Are you a pitcher?
5 minutes.
Okay, club team, that can be big. Usually schools in my position are recruiting teams, firecrackers, because the firecrackers are recruiting kids from Southern California. They do the recruiting for us. We know there's more likely a good chance, but we still do look at other kids. And we look at them from camps, and we look at them from video links. If I see somebody I like, a pitcher, I'll go. I've been to, I've gone to different camps and seen different people. Unofficial business is not a bad idea to move 4 camps, okay? If we say no to you or don't take it personally, it's a business decision. You may not fit what we have in mind. You may still be a great player, but you may not fit what we need at that time. Okay, intangibles, attitude, effort, respect, things you control each and every day. We're looking for these things big time, and we talked about that before. Try to limit yourself to 3 school visits. Don't jump at the first offer. You may get pressured. You may say, I've got Jane and Hannah. Whoever takes it first gets it. That's pressure. You don't need that. Okay, if the offer's good, it should be good enough for you to think about it because you're 15 years old and you've got a huge decision ahead. It shouldn't be made that quickly. Okay, you need to go away and weigh things up. And you take your checklist and figure out if this is a good fit to you. Don't get pressured. Okay, there's plenty of good schools out there. Unless it's your dream school. If that's where you want to go and they offer you, that's your dream school. They're okay with that. All right. Be prepared to ask questions. Have a list of what you want to ask that coach. Okay. Do your homework. If you can, like for example, my daughter, when she's looking at Stanford, she called. Who's probably an alum you know from Stanford? Jessica Mendoza. Jessica Mendoza is a good one to call. So, what's that? Oh, sorry.
3 minutes.
Not if you're his wife. But, so we'll just know that and great things to say about the program. So do that, okay? So if you get an offer, you need to ask, how long do I have to accept this? Find out what the timetable is, okay? If you do get an offer and you accept it, it's not the end. You better count on getting better and working hard each and every day. If you want to come in and start, you be prepared to go and work hard, okay? Stay in touch with the coaches, okay? And understand that the coaches can't call you until their junior year or right in your junior year and call you in senior year. Understand that. It's not personal, right? But stay in touch, call them. Sometimes I have a kid that calls me every Tuesday the first week of the month. Just stay in touch. Say, how's it going? And that's cool. Be honest at all times. I think that's a big thing. Once you lose trust, it's hard to get it back. All right, and it goes both ways. So source of information, places you can find this stuff, and and get educated on what needs to happen. Know the rules. Okay, know the rules. Know that you can't talk to a coach at a tournament. Okay, those types of things. All right. Any quick questions? Sure. There you go. This is something everybody should fill out. Okay. That's a form. It finds out where you can get federal aid, and a lot of scholarship programs require you to fill that form out anyway. So you may as well fill it out. It's free. It doesn't charge you a bit of time. And then typically what you do is you enter in the codes for the schools you're interested in, and they will send that financial information out to the schools, and you will see if you get qualified for other aid. Okay. Remember, there's other aid out there outside of athletic scholarships. There's also academic scholarships. Okay, plenty of them out there. 84% of all scholarships are given out to kids other than D1. I didn't know that. Thank you very much.